Now then guys, welcome back. As I always seem to start these things off, apologies for the delay since the last one. Life has been busy for me and I've been a little bit off colour and whatnot. But anyway, we're back here now doing. Before we get started, exciting news for me. Went down to the SKGX exhibition last week and I had the immense privilege to meet Mr. Tony James, which picture I'm throwing on the screen right now, and can't tell you how excited I was to shake his hand and say hello. I told him about this project. I'm not quite sure what he made of it or whether he'll actually taken a look at it. Probably not, but I was very pleased to meet him. So there you go, that was a highlight for me. I also met a few other notable names that for me have been the heroes of Meccano. Mr. Brian Leach, who's the biggest Meccano channel out there in terms of subscribers, and Mr. Jim Gamble, who's a legend in the Meccano field if you follow these things. And also privileged to meet many more whose names deserve mentioning, but I could go on forever. And I also felt halfway famous because I was stopped 2 or 3 times by people who've watched these videos and recognising me and whatnot, which was a strange sensation, but it was very pleasing to meet people, and it you know, great to actually put some faces to the statistics on the screen. So yeah, that's what I did. Anyway, this is Cole's Mobile Crane Part 12, the long version. We'll do about an hour of this, and we'll see where that gets us. If you recall, we were working on this bit here, which is the frame that all the axles and whatnot are going to go through. So we're going to bugger on with that. I've got some parts out to just start us off for the first few bits, and we'll see how long that takes us to use those up. What I've also done is I've got a little bit organised. For me, this counts as massive organisation. I've got a ring binder for the instructions and the pictures and the diagrams and whatnot. Now, you know, that's me really going to town, is that? So, very pleased with myself. But anyway, let's get this show on the road. Let's get started actually building something. Now, we start off from where we were. We've got these triangular bits, and we've got to show you the picture downloaded. That's what we need to get. So those triangular bits need to go across there with a axle rod between them. So that's what we're starting off with. So let's get going. I don't know how many of the people listening did manage to get down to SKGX. It was my first time going to it because I only got into Meccano 4 or 5 years ago, and by the time I got sufficiently interested that SKGX was something that I wanted to do, the plague had struck and all those things were cancelled. So this has been the first opportunity that I've had, and I very much enjoyed myself. As I say, for me, whilst there was some tremendous models there on display, for me the biggest thrill really was meeting some of the names that I've heard of but never had the chance to meet in person. But yeah, so that was good. And if any of you got down there, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Right, let's see if we can crack on with this a bit. I've been rather remiss with my videos, it has to be said, this last month or so. I am sort of semi-retired pretty much, but the semi part of that comes in. This is as busy a month as I get really, so I've been working and I've had a couple of weeks where I wasn't right brilliant, coughing my guts up. Not COVID this time, just general coughs. Other diseases are available, so to speak. Yeah, let's do internally. I do intend to get back on the video making front. I have several ideas and projects brewing, which I'm not going to give away my secrets just as yet, but all being well, videos will come to fruition over the course of the next month or so. I mean, don't get too excited, but I have plans. Just tighten that up. Right, now then, this axle rod, looking at pictures and whatnot, that isn't going to be long enough to go across there. Have I got that? That is the 3.5 inch that he asked for, but that's a bigger gap than, let me just, I really hope I made a bugger of this, because it's a big strip down at this point if I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it must be. Although I suppose in the instructions it says to hold it on that, put that like that, and hold it in there with that, and then put a rod end on the end of there and put it across and then screw it in. Now I can't find a rod end just at the minute. I have the piece, but I think it's down at the office rather than up here, so I don't think the screwed rod end is actually doing anything other than holding it in place. So if I get a slightly longer axle and pin it with a collar, I think that is still going to work. So that intends to be my plan, and if it goes backwards on me, so be it, we'll figure it out. Or what I might do is, when I next go down to the office next week, I might just get the correct part and come and redraft it. But is that maybe even a little bit? That's a tad longer. That'll cover the distance and give us some, yeah. We'll do it like this. As I say, I think this still works for the intention, but it can just be a placeholder for the time being, and I will put the correct bits in as we go, but saves us having to stop doing what we're doing for the time being. So if I put that in there, that across there, and then this one in here, and this apparently is going to be the thing that the jib pivots on, which I probably do need to get it done as per instructions, because that's going to be taking quite a bit of weight along the way for this, so I probably will get the correct parts. Oh, bugger. I'm kind of gratified that, you know, quite a number of people are interested in the progress of this model, because if anybody ever does talk to me, like I said, people stop me, it's always, how's your mobile crane getting along and so forth, which I think there's 7 or 8 of you regularly watch these longer ones, and probably another 30 or 40 people keeping track of the short ones that I do, so, you know, it just, I mean, that makes it a quite well watched model. In terms of this, certainly, I didn't really have any expectation when I started doing this as to how popular a project it would be. Quite happy doing it if nobody was watching it, to be honest with you, because I'm going to make them all anyway, and it puts a video out there to have something on the channel, and you never know, given the centuries from now, that it'll still be up and people watching it. You know, get its use out of it from there. But right, that's not right. That's not the rod. That's not the rod socket that I'm supposed to have, but it'll do for the time being so we can progress onwards, and I will change it along the way. So from there, this I believe is going to be the main gearbox. The size of joins at the end by 3.5 inch times 2.5 inch plates, which is these here. One hole below the top of the 4.5 inch angle girder, so that looks like that. I think that certainly looks right. That'll brace it, keep it nice and solid. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Has to be said, there are some amazing machines at Skeggex that people make. It leaves me absolutely in awe what people can do with Meccano. I mean, well, maybe I'm saying too much, but you know, I'm reasonably pleased with myself when I can put a model like this together. But to actually be the guys who are designing this kind of thing, it just, well, leaves me speechless. And you look at stuff down at Skeggex, and I know that I'm never ever going to be that clever, but it's nice to come and applaud those who are. Tell you what, if you are watching at this point, we're a good sort of 10 odd minutes in now. It's only going to be people who are, you know, properly interested in this, who are still listening to this. That's the 7 or 8 of you, or whatever they are. If you're there, just, you know, just leave a comment, say, you know, still listening, or something like that in the comments section. Let's see who you actually are. You know, stop being shy and come and say hello, so I know who's actually watching it. And my special little band of brothers, eh? That's that. And then the other end, we're on level the bottom of the 5.5 times 3.5 inch flat base. So that'd be that one like that. It's amazing when you look. YouTube give me loads of analytics for my various videos, and you can tell quite a lot about viewing habits. And I know when you look at the actual views for these videos, it looks like there's 100 odd people who've looked at them, but all that means there's 100 odd people who've clicked on them, but the vast majority of them click out again within the first minute of it, which I'm kind of surprised that they even bother clicking in the first place, because it's obviously advertised that this is an hour-long episode and that it's for people who want it for the long haul. And for me, well, whatever. I mean, I'm grateful for anybody who clicks on the video and gives me a little dopamine rush when the view counter goes up, but it loses me a little bit as to why people bother just for the 1 minute that they watch it for. Still, everybody's welcome, and as I said, there's a lot more people who watch it all the way through on the shorter ones, so keeping up with it. we put that together quicker than I thought we might do. That's not as many parts as I got ready and together with it, but yeah, that gives us a... Oh no, I haven't attached that. That's a good job I just checked. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, whilst I was at Skegex, quite surprised to see, I don't know if you've heard of a female Scottish comedian called Susan Calman, who does documentary sort of touring programmes, but she was there with a film crew wandering around. So Skegex is going to feature on whatever programme she was making about the seaside, she said. So I presume they were just wandering around outside and saw the sign and decided to take a look. But here you go, picture of me saying hello to Susan Calman. I'm sure she's kept her copy of it just as treasured. Right, so that's that structure put together. Nice and solid. Let's work away. A 2.5 by 1.5 inch flange plate. Right, that's that. I know what lengths these are, but I always like to just stick them on a ruler just to make sure I'm getting it right. Is bolted by its top corner to the outside of the front lug of the 2.5 inch double angle strip, which, presuming that's the one that it's talking about, let's have a look at my pictures, what I'm supposed to be doing. Like that, I think is what we say. 2.5 inch by 1 inch blade. Look at that. Manage forward the nut to the outside, yeah. Right. So that's like that. One. There we go, that's that. 200. Another 2.5 inch double angle strip used to support the bottom of the plate, bolted as before, so presumably. Let's have a look, I've got any pictures here that shows it, but it's fairly obvious that you. Yeah. Don't really need any more pictures for that, that's reasonably straightforward. Famous last words. How do you want? One, two, three. Come on. There you go. That's that one. Let's just get through with that. This is where it comes in handy, having that longer Allen driver. There we go. Nice and tight. No ties, but that's that. A 3.5 by 2.5 inch flange plate. So that's no one of those. It's bolted flange for the rear of the 2.5 inch flange. It holds 2 and 6. And these forward. Again, let's have a look. 2 and 6. So that's like that. Still making up framework that eventually rods and axles are going to go through, I guess. Now if I've got nice and pretty Meccano, I'd probably be trying to protect it all with washes and whatnot, but well, as you can see, that'd be a bit of a waste of time for a lot of these pieces, so we'll not bother too much. You go through that. There we go. Anyway, we're progressing quite quickly this week. Oh, this hour, aren't we? Right. Vertical 2.5 inch strips to the inner face of holes 2 across going holes 2. I'm sorry, you what? Let's see if we get a picture of that. Handy if we can find where Steve has figured this out rather than me, because somebody else has already figured it out. So, not Steve. Yes, Steve. Here we are. That's the picture I was looking for. Right, so on here. Presumably this is just for strengthening, so 2 of these buggers. One, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, maybe next year at Skegex I'll go down myself and actually sit on a table. Not particularly because I got all massively clever, I don't claim that, but sufficient people want to say hello that you never know. Might give some people a chance to come up and properly say hello to me, feed me ego a little bit. And presuming that 12 months from now this is finished, take this crane down with me and stick it on the table, and you know, people might be interested to see it. And a few bits and bats. Some of my secret projects. I think I could probably make it, actually, with this and some other things that I've got planned. I think I could probably make up a reasonable table, actually. Not embarrass myself. So maybe that'll do for next year. Maybe I'll come and have a proper go at it and do all 3 days. I think I'd like that as a plan, actually. Boom, boom, boom. So that's that. Front French plates 2 iron strip bullets centrally at holes 2 and 4. So that's what? That's a lot, yeah. So these are presumably just there to strengthen it up because we're going to journal some stuff through it. He said trying to sound like he knew what he was talking about. Here we are. Alright, that's that done. The drive pulley support is a girder bracket bolted to the 5.5 inch by 3.5 inch flat space plates. That's So hang on a second, the girder bracket, space with a 2.5 inch strip. Yes, I think I understand what they're trying to get at there. Space with a 2.5 inch strip and a girder bracket. And then 3 2.5 inch strips. I bought it to the outlet. I was 1 to increase the bearing surface. Ooh. 1, no, about a double. 2, 3, 10, and I think I've got these girder brackets here. There we go, there you are. So 3 of them, let's put these on first before I attach it. Two. Two. There we go. I'm not so much tending to bother with the different camera angles on this, because now that I've got this overhead thing on a tripod fixed up, I think you can sort of pretty much see what I'm doing for the close work. And I don't want to edit these too much anyway, because that's part of the thing, is that you see everything and it's not edited highlights, it's as it happens, so to speak. It's supposed to be kind of like doing a live stream, except I haven't got the technology for doing that, and I'm not sure I'd want to do that anyway, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think we just stick to you just getting the one camera angle to live with, but that'll be good. So like that, then at the top, yeah. This is going to be a pretty substantial machine when it's finished. Actually, I started off with this thinking it might be a smaller model, and I mean, compared to some of them, it will be a smaller model for, and sort of satisfy the space requirements that I have. But it's still going to be, you know, quite a hefty beast. There we go, that's that. An 11-inch axle, 11.5-inch axle should be passed through the centre of the front flash plate, the rear flash plate, and the girder bracket. Right, 11.5-inch axle, that's quite a long axle. Do well done, but I don't know about in that one. Go to my special stash. Yeah, 11.5 inch. That's longer than you. That's only an 8-inch one. There we go. 11.5-inch axle. Should be a pass through central, all of the front flange plate. Boom boom. What I might have to do is slacken these off, these strips a little bit, just so it will go through. There we go, tighten up what we've done it. This one, which again, just slacking off a little bit. There we go. And the girder bracket, that's through there. And it's, you know, you just need that little bit of give that you get through slackening them off. And then a bit of rope forcing ignorance. I don't want to start having to belt it with an hammer. That's not the precision engineering that we like to show. Don't mean that won't do though if you don't start behaving yourself. Let's take those out. If I feed that through, that's better, and we can feed them back on like that. I think that one might be a little bit tight, that's why swap that for a different one. There we are, that's better. And we'll reattach that. At least it shows that we're keeping everything reasonably straight and in line when you can get a rod of that length to pass through the positioned holes. And let's tighten these back up again. Although I hope this isn't supposed to rotate because that's pretty stiff in the I'm not saying it wouldn't do. Get your WD-40 and whatnot, but drive pulley support. That might be supposed to be. It's a drive pulley. Let's just I think it's there that it doesn't like it as much as else. This is a silicone lubricant, which apparently is the thing you should use for lubricating your Meccano, because it doesn't leave a massive amount of residue on the stuff, so I'm told. And that was looking a little... There you go, that frees up movement a little bit. Ah, that's not too terrible, is it? That'll move a bit under power. Cool. Oh, you can smell that. If we had smell-o-vision, you'd better get that coming through. Right. A 7/8 inch bevel gear. Oh, good grief, what's that in millimetres? I know I shouldn't be asking that at from Meccano, but that's going to be... Well, yeah, 8-inch bevel gear. That's not a gear wheel, it's a bevel vehicle. To one end of a 4.5 inch axle. 4.5 inch axle. That's a 5 inch axle. Nearly, Andrew. Is that 4.5 inch? And that's a 4 inch axle, so next time look, you know. Oh, come on, Andrew, this is getting silly. Right. Four and a half inch, near enough. And if I pass through the centre of the lower 2.5 inch double angle strip, like that. And the 7/6. Hang on a second. It's 4.5 inch axle. Okay, let's find some more pictures. I think I'm not going to have to figure this out by myself. You going to help me? Possibly. Probably. Maybe. There we are, that's you. So, that's going through. A lower, so it's... Yeah, there's more than one of them, isn't there? So, like that. And again, this is going to be another one where probably do slacken enough to get it to match up exactly. Get me drift. Oh, come on. There we go. And a 7/16 inch pinion added. That's 12 12mm. Boss first and the axle. D4 and D5. Let's solve for D4. Let's see if that gives me anything. Just bear with the silence, just want to try and figure out. That's right. Yeah. I need to put a 7/16 7/16 binion, that's 12mm, that's for these. So, boss first. And the axle pass through the 4th hole of a horizontal 2.5-inch strip bolted blunt. So I'm going to put a three, 4. I think I've done that right. According to the pictures and plans I've got, that looks something like right. It's onto 2.5 string strip bolted, so that's that. Yeah. No. That's coming through. Yeah. I think that's right. Like that. All this stuff going for it reminds me of the magician's trick where you get your lovely assistant in a box and then start sticking swords through it. You know which one I mean, I'm sure. It's also going to be tricky for fingers to start to get in eventually. Yeah, well, you're right, I'm sure. Chapter. When you do get something like this to work, there's a real feeling of satisfaction when you've managed to get all the gears to mesh and whatnot. Not that we're there yet, but presuming that eventually we will get to that. Come on. Finally. I'll attach a bit of, give this one a bit of lubrication as well, because it's not too terrible, but never hurts. There we go. There we go. So that's that one. And if you can bring it up, that's what we've attached so far and made up on it. Bum bum. You know what? Let's see where we. Well, fine, I can fit through the front. Finish. A winding drum. You know, that next bit is going to be making up this bit here, this cord, and you know, reasonably straightforward, but more than 5 minutes worth of work, which is what I've got left in the hour here. So I think at that I'm reasonably pleased with the progress for this hour, so I think I'm going to love you and leave you at that, and hopefully I won't leave it another month or so before I come back to this, because I do enjoy them when I get around to them. It's just get my ass into gear to do them. But yeah, we'll call that quits at that. So thanks very much for watching, and yeah, we'll pick you up next time round. Thank you, bye.